My research looks at the history of infectious diseases of childhood in 20th century Ireland within its contemporary context. Today I look at an odd impact of new medical concepts on the Dublin public health crisis in 1911. In the late summer of 1911, a heat wave extended from North America right across Ireland, Britain and the rest of Europe. As in every year the mercury rose, so too did the numbers of infants dying and suffering and dying from infant diarrhoea, which was a phenomenon described as summer diarrhoea. But 1911 was an exceptional heat wave. The temperatures weren't equalled again in Britain until 2016, and so consequently were the excessive numbers of children, particularly in cities, dying from summer diarrhoea. The tenements of Dublin's poor made the problem particularly acute. 1/3 of the population lived in rickety tenements like this one, with only an outside dully as a toilet and poor washing facilities. Sir Charles Cameron, Dublin Corporation's veteran medical officer of health, had devoted his life to improving the health of Dubliners, and often visited the homes of the poor to see how he could improve their living conditions. He was particularly interested in toilet facilities and could describe the outside toilet seat in graphic detail. During the 1911 summer epidemic, he noted that the homes where the diarrhoea problem persisted also seemed to be teeming with flies. Cameron thought up an ingenious scheme to help with the problem. He persuaded the Corporation's Public Health Committee to issue 100 brown paper bags and offer 3 pennies for returning the bags full of flies, thinking that small boys in the tenements might be attracted to the reward for removing a source of contagion from their own. 21 bags were returned with about 6,000 flies in each, or 126,000 in all. Cameron, clearly relishing his task, found the average weight of each fly was 0.7 grams. Returning to the Public Health Committee, he considered he'd made 2 mistakes: not initiating the scheme much earlier in the year and making the bags too large, as killing 6,000 flies was too hard. He'd found several partly filled bags lying around the tenements, and so advised reducing the size in 1912 to something that would hold 3,000 flies, also for 3 pence. In the event, 1912 proved to be a much cooler summer with far fewer flies, and a much diminished incidence of infant mortality from diarrheal diseases, and so no bags were returned. While the idea of a public health specialist encouraging small boys to swat flies in a tenement with poor hand-washing facilities may seem counterproductive in the context of our modern hygiene standards, we must remember the context of medical knowledge in 1911. Bacteriology was the relatively new understanding and weapon of medicine to combat disease, following from the exciting work of late 19th century scientists such as Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch. Koch is on the left and Pasteur on the right there. Cameron's diaries and autobiography showed that he kept in close contact with fellow scientists and sanitarians across Britain, America and Europe, and these contacts informed his opinion and his actions in relation to Dublin's public health. Sanitarian interest in preventing the accumulation of flies in the home was a moderately recent phenomenon. Anne Hardy notes that from the early 1900s, the housefly had become the centre of an international focus on hygiene for the control of diarrheal and other diseases, including TB and anthrax. The fly had recently been discovered to have sticky feet, which were considered to carry germs and spread them around the home. Irish medical textbooks first linked the fly with infant summer diarrhoea from 1911. Public health posters like this one by L.H. Wilder also warned about flies. So, on the one hand, Cameron's actions with brown paper bags were received with some mirth and derision. Labour leader James Larkin joked that the bags should be pinned to the clothesline for flies to walk in. And on the other hand, they showed that the 81-year-old Cameron had a serious engagement with contemporary scientific knowledge and public health trends. Thank you.